Okay, so here we are, second try. Thanks for being here again, Veronica. We did a video before, but I recorded it on the iPad and it did not want to record what you were saying. So we just do it again. It was a lovely video. It's such a shame that the people in our clan can't see what you have been saying. So we just do it again. Oh, they can't hear what you've been saying, so we just go again. Well, first, thanks for being here. I'm really honored to welcome you as our first collaborator. It's really wonderful to have you join the Wrapped in Jamie Carl with your contributions. You made 4 squares. We'll be talking about that later on. But first, tell me about yourself, your name and your business and your family and all those kind of things that we are all interested in, that we love to hear about.
So, hi Petra, it's really wonderful to be with you here again, and I would do it 10 more times if it were necessary, because it's so lovely to talk to you, to be in contact with you and to work with you. So my name is Veronika Gadulova. My brand, or the brand under which I work, is called Kane. I'm from Czech Republic and I have 4 kids, 1 husband, and we live in a house. I have 2 weaving looms, a lot of crochet hooks, and a lot of pins and needles, and a lot of yarn in my studio. And I really love to create things with my hands, and I love how I can transform yarn from nothing to something that is useful, beautiful, and brings joy to people, to me. And that's what I love to do.
That's wonderful. Thanks for sharing that. So we know that thousands of people already love the technique, but you went a step further. We're talking about image overlay crochet, or IOC, what was formerly known as Patronage. So we've changed that. So you made some lovely designs that are compatible with the Wrapped in Jamie squares in terms of style, size, and theme. So would you tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind those designs, please?
Yes, I'd love to. I love the overlay crochet. I love image overlay crochet because it brings so much possibilities, so much. It's challenging and beautiful at the same time. And when I made Petra's designs, it was really important for me that I liked it, and it was new and it was tempting. I learned it, and then I started to thinking about doing some things myself. And as I love nature, countryside inspires me, and so I wanted to add some of my designs to the blanket I was making from the season 1 squares. That's why my squares are compatible with Petra's, because I wanted to join them in the same project, and I did afterwards. And the inspiration behind them was nature, countryside, the moments I spent there. This weekend I'm leaving for 2 weeks to be offline and on a scouts camp by the fire, sleeping under tent, and I'm really looking forward to it. So it's the moments there, the friendship I found outside of the city too. So that was my kind of memories blanket together with it. So the blanket I made is called Into the Forest I Go. That is my part. Wrapped in Jamie, that is the part of the cow. So that's something behind about the inspiration behind my designs.
Wonderful.
It was the nature, and it's also important in the story of Jamie and Claire. It's all.
Oh, we just lost the microphone there. We can try again. So, just the last sentence. Well, we tried to get you back online. Okay, so we did have some technical issues there, where either I muted Veronica or she muted herself. We don't know. So we just started again. But we just want to continue from where we left off. So the last thing that we heard was that you got inspired by nature. And that's definitely something that's really important and relevant for the Wrapped in Jamie blanket, and for Jamie and Claire as well, if we think of characters. So now you've kindly offered to contribute some squares, I mentioned that before, to the blanket to benefit our makers. So your first square is called Dragonfly. And I would love to know, how did it come about? So what happened? Why Dragonfly?
Why Dragonfly? I love dragonflies. I've always thought about them as creatures from the past or from fairy tales. So whenever I see one, it's rare to see them here. They are here, but they are not as common. So when I see one, it's like the time stops. It's really kind of a mystic moment. So that's why I love them. And I also know that they are part of the Scottish Irish culture.
Oh, we did get interrupted again by losing sound or losing audio, but we were talking about dragonflies, and we heard that you love the dragonflies, and we heard that you think that they're really mystical. So yeah, so that's where we stopped, I think.
Yes. And I also saw them in the North British or the Scottish Irish mythology, and often in symbols with the intertwined knot like designs. So I tried to make one, and I did make one. And it is a dragonfly, and it's uh, an easy shape, but it's also complicated on the inside, as well as the dragonfly is. When you see it stopped in the air, it's like peaceful standing in the air, but it has to be moving all the time. It has to do extra work to seem effortlessly stopped in the air. And it's same like Claire when she came back through the stones again, and she tried to live her life, and she looked okay on the outside, but she was always working hard on the inside. So it's like an image of Claire after she had to leave Jamie as well. So that's how it ties to the story too.
Yeah, I love that. I love that kind of thinking. And I think this is something that gives the design some extra kick. And this is really an absolutely exceptionally beautiful square. And it does require some attention, but yeah. So you even invented a new stitch technique for that. And that is the stitches from the opposite side. How did you come up with that kind of stitch, and why?
I came up with it because I always felt limited by the crochet designs, that it had to be uh, sharp. It didn't have round edges, or I could try to make round edges, but it ended up sharp anytime I tried to make a circle. And as the dragonfly is mirrored, it's the same from both of the sides. I needed the other side to be as round as the first one. That's why I came up with the simple twist in the stitch that turned up to be a special stitch again. So it's really just an easy switch of mind, a tiny thing that helps to make nice round shapes.
And by doing that, you have also contributed to the stitch directory, and also to the writing of the new document for the image overlay crochet. So that's really something very special. And thank you
Yes.
for sharing that with us, because it's ingenious. It's very simple, but it's still ingenious in its simplicity, and the effect that it has, it's just magical. So really great. And thank you for allowing me to use that stitch as well.
We're
we
going
just
to have more out.
we just had a visit from Veronica's totally cute daughter. So we're talking about the border. So you've designed a new border for the wrapped in Jamie Square as part of the contribution. What's the story behind this border?
The border is called Plants and Herbs, and it refers to Claire's medical training, to her medical skills, and to the contribution she has to the community she builds around herself. So there are plants and there are herbs. It's leaves for the plants, and there are tiny flowers amongst them. for the herbs. And as you will see, it gives a nice border to the images
It
and
does.
to Claire as well, because she would be nothing in the new world she loves without her plants and herbs.
Yeah, exactly. That is absolutely true. So, and that's something that was important for me to portray in Claire as well. The flowers, plants, and herbs, and everything she does, the connection to nature. So I'm so pleased that you're repeating this in the border, and it really brings that whole blanket together beautifully. I really love that about it. So, but crochet is only part of your craft skill set. You've got another passion.
Yes, I
Tell
do.
so, what is it?
It's weaving. I have a lot of looms and a lot of yarn, and I love weaving. I've been weaving baby wraps and other things as well. So that's my other big passion that I have. And I really, as I said before, I love when I take a thread, uh, yeah, when I take a simple thread and make it into something that is as beautiful, as useful, and joyful for me to make, and for the people I sell it to use. So I see a deep meaning in it.
Mm, yeah, and I saw one of your weaving projects, which is just stunning. I wish I could do that. You're very talented, so
Thank you.
beautiful. Yeah, we will talk about more about your other designs for the wrapped in Jamie Cull shortly. Would you like to give our audience a little teaser or hint what they are about?
As I said, the designs were inspired by nature, so they're all designed and inspired by trees, actually, by trees and by. There is one with a classic Celtic twist as well. It's the tree, and
Mhm.
I'm not going to say what kind of tree it is. So it's all based on trees.
Yeah, yeah, nice. And I have seen them already, so yay! Gonna tease you about it. The Reptic Gem squares are not your only designs, and you have also gone beyond the square. You've created 4 other patterns that I've seen, and which are just equally beautiful. And those are, oh, you tell us about them. So
So
that's Morning
yes, when
Star,
I was
Evening Star, Starflake, and Poinsettia.
they are the star patterns. When I was doing the blanket, the Into the Forest I Go series, I wanted to portray night, and I found out that it's really difficult to make a star or a sun or any round shape on the square. It is not impossible, but it's not such a nice star as I would want.
Yeah.
So I decided I have to go with hexagon. And my Christmas was coming, and my daughters love Frozen, the music, the music story, the fairy tale as well. And I love when the snow falls. So I ended up creating a blanket full of snowflakes or stars or all this symbolism that is in it. And it consists of 4 patterns that are from the simplest one to the most complicated one. So it can also be used as a learning curve for the IOC when you want to try some project and you want to go from the real basics to the complicated one. And it one day is going to become a blanket and full tutorial for how to join it and make the border, but it's still project to be finished.
It's a work in progress, and we know that, from working on these patterns together, that's what we do as collaborators. We work on the patterns together to make them unified and to
Yes.
look that everything is as our audience would expect it, so that it's all the same style. And of course that makes us work together. And I've seen, well, you've seen, I've experienced it already. So we know how much effort and work goes into that, especially while we are creating the new documents to match
Yes.
that and include all the special stitches and or special techniques. And so, it's
Yeah.
quite a process. So
Yeah,
back,
I've
yeah.
been with you. I've been with you from the beginning, from the first idea of the working JV house. So I know it takes time, it takes a lot of work, it takes its ups and downs, and it's all worth it. And I really love how you put yourself in it and you want to have it all precisely done and up to the standard, not just do something and put it out there, but do it well and have it all prepared.
Yeah, yeah. I believe that the makers, they do appreciate it, and we had the feedback that everyone does appreciate the effort that goes into it. And yeah, it's probably just being me, a bit of perfectionist and OCD, and the Virgo in me that tries to offer something that I can be proud of. So let us know, where can your patterns be found, Veronica?
My parents, it's the easiest way is to put my name in Ravelry and try to find them there. It leads to my webpage usually, but I do have a Ravelry account. So when you type Veronika Gadulova there, I'm there.
Yeah, and we're going to put a link underneath this interview as well for people to just to make it easier to find it, to find you and your
Thank you.
patterns, because they're just gorgeous.
Thank
So,
you.
Veronica, I really can't say how pleased I am to have you as a founding member of what has started out as Patronase, but has now been renamed, I mentioned that before, to the Image Overlay Crochet, or IOC for short. And I think I speak for you too, that we hope that this is going to become known as a new and exciting style of crochet, because it's quite distinctive from other styles. It's not just overlay, it's different. Overlay has a different technique. Yeah. And so this is quite a new style in itself. And we want to help make it grow. And I'm so grateful that you have come on board to join me in this journey. And that's why I often say we. I'm already including Veronica, as one of my, oh, how can I say it? Friends doesn't really cut it. It's not enough. We are like sisters, and really that connection that you get working together on a project like that is very special to me, and it's very dear to my heart. So I'm very, very honored and very pleased. And I have to stop because otherwise I'm going to start to cry. So let's do you have a few words for other designers who might consider becoming collaborators as well, or even designers, or something? Anything you want to tell them?
Yeah, just go for it. It's really worth it. It's a wonderful experience. It gives you new limits and it broadens your horizon. And Petra is such a great person to work with. She's really generous, and when you go and have questions and everything, she doesn't consider her creation to be just hers. She really wants to help you to make it work for both of you. And when you have an idea she thinks might be better than hers, she just puts it in there and she incorporates it in the system. So it's really wonderful to be working with Petra. So if you consider being a collaborator or just being a designer in this style of crochet, just spread the overlay crochet love. Go for it, please, please, please. So there's most of us.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, you just made me cry. So
I'm sorry.
no, it's so good. Thank you very much for the praise. I do
Oh,
appreciate
same.
that. It's very nice. So we are going to have the odd chat now and then to introduce your other designs. And
Okay.
we're going to show some pictures of your pretty, pretty squares. The first one, we said, we already teased everyone and said it's going to be Dragonfly, or some people worked it out, yeah. Maybe. So this is
Maybe.
one of mine. So that's, not sure if they can see it. So that's one of mine. Thank you, Veronica, for coming in again with and with all the technical issues that we had, but it's all good. That's how we grow, how we learn. It's the first time that we're doing this, so
Yeah.
it's all part of the process and part
Yeah,
of the
and
learning.
we had Yeah, and we had only one child coming in here, so it's good.
And she was super cute. I'm not actually sure whether I want to cut it out, but I want to.
It's up to you, really.
I want to keep your privacy, so I better cut it out. Yeah, so we want our client to know that we are actually doing something. So this is why we're going to show everyone what Veronica's working on, what I'm working on, and some of you have already seen the preview of the process. If not, I'm going to link that underneath as well, like the preview and look behind the scenes, what's going on in the background, just little snippets of the design process as well. So we shared that, and we're going to continue to share the progress that we're making with the squares as we go, and as we work out the best way to write them. Yeah, because it's not just we don't just write them, so sometimes there is a lot of discussion involved in that to say, okay, how do we do, which comes first, and blah blah blah. So it is a process, and we yeah okay
Yeah,
I want to
yeah, it would have been written already if it didn't work all the system again to
yeah
be more legible, to be more consistent, and to
yeah
be perfectly done for the people. So
yeah
once
so
it does that, it's gonna be
yeah
good.
but this is it's because you care, because I care, and we want to make it really nice, and yeah, so that everybody can enjoy it. So thank you everyone for joining us here, for watching. Thank you, Veronica, for coming on board
Thank you.
again and for taking the time to redo this recording, and especially because you're going to be away for a few days and there's a lot that needs to be done still in preparation for that, for another scout camp, I believe. And I hope that you're going to have an awesome time with that you have nice weather, because I think it's good weather at the moment where you are in the
It's really hot in here. It's
yeah
supposed to be stormy next week, but it's really hot now. So it's
yeah
good.
so fingers crossed for good weather, and we are going to talk soon again, and everyone will get a little glimpse of your next design when we talk again.
Yeah.
So take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. There she is. Oh, such a cutie. Enjoy the rest of your day and
Yeah.
wonderful trip, and take care and come back safely.
Thank you. I will. Bye.
Bye. See ya.